Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are dealing with Dr. Faustus, the play written by Christopher Marlowe, and today we will present scene number 2 and scene number 4. Before starting with the explanation of scene number 2 and scene number 4, these scenes considered as a part of the comic scenes in Dr. Faustus. As you know, that Dr. Faustus is a tragedy which is written by Christopher Marlowe. He intends the play to be a tragedy, but there is an insertion of the comic scenes in Dr. Faustus. It is not only one or two, but there is many scenes in Dr. Faustus. Comic scenes were demanded by the Elizabethan audience as to mingle between laughter and tears. We see comic in Shakespeare's Hamlet also, in the scene of the gravedigger. So it is not only concerned with Christopher Marlowe, but also it's concerned with Shakespeare. So it is not only with Dr. Faustus, but also it is the demand of the age. In Dr. Faustus, the comic scenes do not add anything into the structure of the play, as some critics criticize these scenes or these comic scenes. They describe these scenes as bad scenes, which cause lack of coherence in the play. Dr. Faustus. These scenes contain no elements of greatness to Dr. Faustus. But another point of view, which is raised by another critics, they said that the mingling of comedy with tragedy is a necessity for the artistic unity of the drama. In a very simple word, they said that our life is not merely tragedy, it is not merely a comedy. It means that there is no life full of sadness or life full of happiness, but there is kind of a mixture of both, or there is a mingling of both. The use of comedy in Dr. Faustus, it has a function, and the function here is the reduction of the tension of the audience. It is intended to give a relief from the sad events and the horrible events for the audience, especially the horrible events of the appearance of the devil, Mephistopheles, Lucifer. Even Dr. Faustus was terrified, threatened by them. So it's a kind of giving a relief from the tension. We come to the second scene, scene number 2, which is about two kind of dialogue in here. So we have on one side we have first scholar and the second scholar, and we have Wagner. Wagner, as we early talked about in scene number 2, and we saw Wagner, he is the servant. So we have Wagner, as we said, he is the servant of Dr. Faustus, and here he imitates Dr. Faustus. So in this scene, while the second scholar and the first scholars, they are the friends of Dr. Faustus from the University of Wittenberg. I draw here a very simple diagram. A very simple diagram of Dr. Faustus' character. So here I place Dr. Faustus, and we have here the good friend of Dr. Faustus, and we have the bad friends of Dr. Faustus. Good friend of Dr. Faustus here, I mean the friends who advise him to leave magic and to go back to the way of God, while the bad friends who tempt him, will always push him toward studying magic and to be a magician. So in the first scene, we saw the fictitious characters, good angel and the evil angel. Good angel advised Dr. Faustus to go to read the scripture, to feel or pray from the wrath of God, while the evil angel tempted him of controlling, commanding this world, and to be like a Jove on earth. In this scene, also in the first scene, we have Valdez and Cornelius. Valdez and Cornelius, they are the bad friends, also of Dr. Faustus, who helped Dr. Faustus from their knowledge, from their experience of practicing magic. Well, in this scene we have the first and second scholars. They are the good friend of Dr. Faustus. They have the good intention about Dr. Faustus. They want to help Dr. Faustus. And before the end of the play, we have the third scholar will appear. So, in this scene, we saw that Dr. Faustus has changed from the beginning. We saw that Dr. Faustus had changed his habits of meeting and enjoying the company of his friends, and now the first and the second scholars, they wonder where is Dr. Faustus right now. They meet with Wagner and they ask him about the place of Dr. Faustus, how is Dr. Faustus, and now the conversation between Wagner and the scholar is considered as a kind of a low comedy. Does not advance the plot. It does not advance the plot or provide new information. You know the plot, if you go to the essential literary terms which you find on the classroom, the plot is the sequence of events in a literary work. This is a very simple definition of the plot. So in every play or literary work there is a kind of a sequences of the events. So in Dr. Faustus we have events that's related with Dr. Faustus as a hero, not with the Wagner or the scholars. So it means that the structure of the play or the plot. Here in this scene, Wagner, he is imitating, as we said, imitating his master. He also uses language, the language of law. As you know that Dr. Faustus, he masters many branches of knowledge, and one of them is law. So he used the language of law, and here he also using the place of execution as a pun. Pun, P-U-N, is the playing with words. So here the place of execution, it has two meaning, lateral meaning, which is very clear for you, and there is the other meaning, which is a dining hall where people execute meals. So he said to them that now Dr. Faustus, he is dining with his friends Valdez and Cornelius. Now they are assured that Dr. Faustus okay, he intends to study magic. So this is about scene number 2. While scene number 4, it's about Wagner as a hero of this scene, and there is the clown. The clown in the Elizabethan drama, it represents a very simple man, a very humorous man. His action, his movements, it's a kind of humor to bring humor for the people. So here, humor occurs in the play or in this scene by playing the words, okay, playing on words and so on. So here in this scene, it's a very simple scene. It's between Wagner. He wants to control the clown. Also, it has a kind of a bargain, as this scene is a copy of scene number 3. So here, clown plays the role of Dr. Faustus, as Dr. Faustus followed the devil, while he, the clown, will follow Wagner out of fear of the 2 devils, which here Wagner called or summoned up. So here he called upon 2 devils, Pelilo and Pelchers. And here it makes this scene, it makes very clear that both of them, the clown and Dr. Faustus, they are losing. They are becoming a follower of the others. Okay. And here Wagner tries to befool the clown. So there is nothing of importance in this scene. Okay. And this scene is represent a kind of copying of the scene of number 3 of Faustus and the devil. Okay. So here were clowning money by Wagner. Okay, Wagner here is calling the devils Belilo and Pelcher, okay, which is related also with Victor. Thank you very much for listening.